Welcome back, video creeps. Totally killer. Blumhouse's horror comedy about a Gen Z teen who accidentally gets sent back to 1987. So let's discuss it, because all of your talking about it piqued my interest enough to go in with a curious and hopeful disposition. And after watching this film, I could definitely say that this is a movie. So 35 years ago, three friends of our main character's parents are murdered. Flash forward to present day, and the killer is back looking to finish the job. Daughter goes back in time by mistake. Now with the knowledge of the future, we have to try and alter the course of time. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that I do appreciate the way that this film handled the portrayal of the parents as teenagers. Because these are not likable and level-headed people. They are mean, dumb, hormone-filled, annoying teenagers, as they should be. They aren't cooked all the way through yet, like every other teenager since the dawn of time. And there is fun and truth in seeing this Gen Zer being so mature when compared to teenagers in the 80s, because it's just true. I see it in my own child. Like his conflict resolution skills, like when he tells me about the beef going on with his little friend group and whatever, the way that they have come to conflict resolutions, it's insane. It's so diplomatic and shit. Whatever happened to throwing fist? They comprehend how to deal with things with a maturity that I didn't understand till I was 25. And he is 14. So seeing that specific thing addressed in this movie was very fun. But that might be the end of the road as far as praise goes for me. What I've seen people praising this movie for is how it has flipped the script. Articles spouting how unique it is when comparing this film to other films. And yeah, I've read their points and I don't see it. No, don't see that at all. The case that's being made here is the main character, Jamie, we're following her hunting the killer. That is the focus here. That's the big wow, how different and innovative. But am I tripping? Cause that ain't new. When I hear that premise, I think of movies like the Slumber Party Massacre remake or the Hatchet films. Movies have done this before, where we see a protagonist acting as the mouse, taking out the antagonist acting as the cat. So again, I gotta ask, why is this movie being held in such high regard? Because it's not only just something that we've seen time and time again, but it also just didn't do anything special in terms of a fresh take. Never once did I get to feel while watching this thing, you know what? I've never seen that before, and I am enjoying this movie for it. That doesn't happen in this movie. It just, why do this if you're not gonna attempt to do something different? And that's where it's gonna get strange for me talking about this movie, because the film is not boring by any major margin. It literally just didn't bring anything new. So when I see headlines talking about how just special this movie is, I can't help but want to strip that shit away from it. Now, I'm gonna get into some kind of controversial opinions, and I do hope that this remains an open space for the sake of conversation and pointing things out, but I found myself completely annoyed with the constant 2023 corrections from the main character. Yo, why are you so baffled at the world that once was? Christ, can you imagine if this girl was sent to the 1700s or some shit? There's not a single missed opportunity in this movie to point out how things weren't always as mindful as they are today. And for me, it just comes off so privileged and just off-putting. Yo, you are a stranger in a strange land. Fucking go do the thing that you're there specifically to do. Where the fuck is your game face? I want my main character to fucking know what they're doing and fucking have a plan and shit. Fucking stopping every 4 seconds to comment on how that isn't socially acceptable it fucking brings me down. Stopping every 10 minutes of this film just to get her way in. It just deviates from like my own personal wanting to gel with Jessie. And because of the way that she operates in this strange new land, this world that once was, I can't help but like feel a lack of empathy for her character. I want to feel her plight and I can't because she won't shut the fuck up. And to be clear, what she was saying is not what was annoying to me. And even what she was saying the first few times was not bad. When you first hear her make comments on like a random person who's wearing like a female body inspector shirt, or she starts shouting non-consent when someone's trying to physically move her out of the way, it fucking plays. It's funny, it's done in this light and really good way, and credit where the fucking credit is due. When she does vocalize these like 2023 like fucking self-awareness social things, she is met with like a very clear like shut the fuck up. Like not a single soul gave a shit, because that's the mentality of the world in 1987. She does her social justice warrior thing and then she gets told to like eat a bird or something. Like that was pretty accurate. That was funny. And in that dismissal, like it felt authentic. And for the first couple of gags, because let's call a spade, that specific antidote was put into this film for the sake of humor. And it does work, but it ends up working in that way where like a child gets his first real laugh from an adult. And then it just revisits that joke until it overstays its welcome to a gross degree. So much so that it shadowed what could have been great qualities to this main character that I never got to see. But moreover, from just the central character or the flat storytelling, which believe me, if it were a pulse, nurses would be running into the room because of alarms and shit. I saw an article for this movie that described it as the perfect Halloween movie for people who don't like to be scared. And I can't help but think about how apt that title is when speaking about this film. Because objectively, this is not a horror film. It really plays out as more of like a murder mystery than like a fright fest in any capacity. It fits in with movies like Freaky or Bodies. Like to me, all these movies, they like sit at the same lunch table. They got fucking like They Them is sitting there with like fucking Black Friday. None of them are scary, but they all got accepted into the same like horror college, which, hey, horror is a spectrum, right? So cool. It's not a horror movie. It's a time traveling movie, right? That's cool. Except it doesn't really stand on its own feet as a worthy time traveling movie either. And I know, like it feels like I'm talking about this movie really negatively, and it doesn't. This sucks. It's just kind of seasonless. Like it's an edible film, but it's like it's not delicious, you know? There's not much in the shape of spectacular pizzazz or like super creativity when it comes to the time traveling aspect. It just wasn't implemented in a way that felt important, which is a problem considering that this is a time traveling movie. I just found myself like not caring. Like I wanted to finish the film and I was holding on to like, maybe this is gonna be rad. Like maybe this is gonna really kick it up. Not done, but I wanted it to, and I wanted to enjoy the film. When I saw the trailer, I immediately got like fucking like, oh, this is like Final Girls. I got that vibe and I was ready to enjoy it. But inside it left me deflated. And somehow it all like flipped around and now I feel like my own overused trope, where I'm suffering a Groundhog's Day situation with watching movies like this. Just mediocre time traveling, not really horror it movies. It's not a film that is destined to be like a cult classic. I doubt it even has rewatch mileage. But the fucking, maybe that's okay. Shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars. Totally killer. I really hate talking about this movie and movies like this because genuinely it's so hard to nail down. On one end, it was not outright dog shit. I do think that you could watch this movie and not hate it. But in the same breath, I would never recommend this to anyone. Unless you really like dig Sabrina, like that actress, and you just want to fucking support the shit out of her, go for it. Watch this. It's just, despite the entertaining self-awareness this film is able to provide, it just doesn't live up to the personality that it could have had. And when approaching the delicate balancing act of horror and comedy, not leaning into either one if you're not gonna go down a straight line is a really dumb thing to do. Ultimately, it's just a disservice to the opportunity to make something that could really connect with audiences that you're asking time from. It just doesn't stick the landing with the charisma that it tried to tell you that it had. And while time travel and a slasher are present, the movie still finds a way to feel super uneventful. But hey, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. Please drop a like, subscribe if you're new, hello. And of course, check out the links down in the bio of this video, where you'll find my Patreon, my Instagram, all that fun stuff. For everyone else, I will see you on the next video. Peace, video creeps.
I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And I punch the man who says I'm not. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And I punch the man who says I'm not.